Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my podcast, Prompt Me, Please. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I'm excited about today's show because this platform encourages you to think different, to do different, so you can be different, all through the art of journaling. So I have a returning guest on here that I'm super excited about. So let me tell you guys this. When I first started this podcast, he was my first special guest, and we talked about the birth of our marriage story. What we're going to talk about today is, once again, being married, being parents of our 5-year-old son, and just how we navigate life as individuals. And so today, I welcome you, my returning guest. He's actually my favorite guest. I'll give him that. I want to welcome you guys, my husband, yet again, Mr. William Thomas. Hey, boo.
Hey, boo.
How you feel being back?
Good.
Good. How do you think the first one went?
It went well.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about being married. We are approaching how many years being married?
We are approaching 7 years being married.
Yeah. Did you think ever, like even when you were young, that you would be married to someone, period?
I did.
Yeah?
I
You
did.
saw yourself as a husband?
Yeah.
That's nice.
No, with that, I've always known that that's what I wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Period. I know that's right. And so, being that we are approaching 7 years of being married, by the time this podcast will be out, we will be married 7 years. There is something called the 7-year itch. Have you ever heard of that before?
I have not.
No?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to read you a little tidbit of like what the 7-year itch is, because people say the first year is hard. The first 2 years or the first 5 years of marriage can be very challenging. But that first year and the first couple of weeks and months, you're in the honeymoon phase. Everything is great.
Peachy cream.
Everything is light. We loving each other. We want to live in each other's skin. You can't do no wrong. So that's like year 1 and 2. Like you still new, and it's like a us against the world type thing. And then once we hit 5 years married, it was like, whoa, because that's pretty huge. How did you feel like being married 5 years? 5 years, that was what? 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So it was almost like post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also had a lot going on. I had just graduated, just got my bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
Going into it, though, it really wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
You were a very good support system for me.
Yeah.
Michael was still young, and I remember
he was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember us having to allocate time for myself, as well as self-care time, as well as still being able to give you guys the type of time and attention that you needed.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I was wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah. So I want to read you this tidbit about the 7-year itch, what people call it. So it says the 7-year itch refers to a phenomenon where married couples may experience a decline in satisfaction or increased restlessness around their 7th year of marriage. This concept suggests that after about 7 years being together, partners might feel the following: a decrease in relationship satisfaction, experience increased temptation to seek relationships outside the marriage, question their compatibility or their partner being their initial choice, and feeling like the relationship has become routine or like very predictable. And the whole point of us doing this podcast today, because I want to go ahead and set the intention, is that marriage is not perfect. For those that desire to be married, let me let you know that marriage is not perfect. It is not this perfect picture or idea that you've created in your mind, right? Like you have, in order to truly understand the essence of marriage, first, of course, you have to be married, but you have to go through some things. A lot of times people have this idea of their partner in their mind. They're writing out lists. They're making sure that this other person check boxes, right? What you gonna say?
I think a lot of people pursue perfection. Like there is no such thing as perfection on this earth. It's just, it doesn't exist.
There is no perfect person. There is no perfect partner. And so the intention of this is to just us, being transparent and vulnerable on this platform with one another, talking about the challenges of being married, because I can't sit up here and say, and I know he's not going to sit up here and say, yeah, this marriage has been perfect. There are no complaints. We don't go through anything. He's not going to say that, and neither will I. So I want to just be real and authentic. Not by a long shot. We just want to be real, authentic, and pretty raw from our perspective. This is our truth, because this is our journey of marriage, okay? So I have a couple of questions for you, my love.
Last time you made me sing, so I'm hoping you don't.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I almost forgot. That is how we got to start this off. Let's break the ice before, we get all, a little bit serious. Let's be a little light.
I've been flirting with you all day.
You really have, and I appreciate that, and I love you for that, and I'm going to love you even more for this. So, there is a show that I like to watch. It's the Terrell Show. You know this, where he invites guests on the show, and he gives them one word, and they have a couple of seconds to sing the song with a word in it, or it can be in the song title. Okay. So your word is married.
I'm gonna need more than the 12 seconds. Usually I'm not bad at this.
No, you're not. You're not.
But I'm drawing a blank right now.
You know what I thought you was gonna say?
What?
Meet me at the altar, make your white dress.
Let's get
we ain't getting no younger. Yeah.
I didn't even think about Jagged Edge, because they got all their songs.
Yeah, they got hits. They got hits for sure. So you give me a word.
Love. And I honestly just threw you a lob with that one.
You sure did. I mean, because I
just threw you.
But this is my favorite go-to song. I love you, Jesus.
Come on.
Oh.
Come on, Ryan.
I worship and adore you. I go somewhere.
Come on now.
Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. That is like my favorite gospel love song. Like, I was
gonna let you sit in that for a minute.
Ooh, what?
Go on and sit in that.
Because I can go, I love you, Jesus.
Come on now.
I worship and adore you. And I just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. That song is, so many people have done renditions of it, but my favorite rendition is by Anita Wilson. And the song is called More Than Anything.
I think I've heard you play that a couple times.
What? That is like my favorite love song that I love to sing.
Yeah, I think
to
I've
God.
heard you play that a lot.
But praise the name of the Lord. You want another try, or
I'll take another.
Let's
I gotta redeem
done.
myself.
Period. Okay. This time your word is man. Nothing. Nothing.
She's really good with this with music. I'm usually the opposite with movies.
Yeah.
She could name one actor.
Yeah, you know what? You are
and I will
good.
name just about 10 movies
I
that
do.
they were in.
Okay, I'll give you that. I can do the music and you can do the movies for sure. Because you will always, what movie me? And I'd be like,
Her music Tourette's is unmatched. She got me beat.
it's okay. You're going to get me the next time, lover.
I know my strength.
That's right. And you do what? You walk in your strengths confidently. I love that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started. The first question that I want to ask you would be, what did you find most surprising about being married year one versus just dating?
Just dating, it was kind of like, okay, well, she got her thing, I got mine. We have our own separate thing going. When we come together, we come together.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I always tell people, marriage is more than just a piece of paper. When you're married and you're actually in a healthy relationship, notice I said healthy, not happy, healthy.
Yeah.
You're in a healthy relationship. It's more than just about you.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes, okay, well, we got this problem, so how can we tackle this? What game plan can we come up? Not so much, man,
just me or
I got this going on, and
so true.
I just need to take care of this, and but then if you do that, y'all end up going.
That's right. That's right. And I don't disagree with that either, babe, because it will definitely go from I to we. And I knew how real that was when something as simple as, did you eat? Right? If I'm already out and about, do we have dinner already covered? Or, like, what's for dinner? Like something just as simple as making sure both of us eat, because this was before, of course, our son was in the picture. Yeah. Like the small little details. I'm just not bringing food home for me. And I'm like, yeah, if you want some, you could eat some. No, it's like, I'm stopping at such and such. What you want? Or are you hungry? And
it'll get to a point where we'll call each other in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Like, so what we eating?
Right. We already thinking about it.
I know you're going to be hungry.
Yeah.
What we doing?
Yep. So it going from I to we a lot in all things, because now you're just not moving for yourself. You're moving for you and your other person. Most definitely. I can agree with that. Okay. How has your definition of love evolved over the 7 years of being married?
For me, love has transcended petty anger.
Say more about that.
What I mean by that is a lot of the small stuff that may irritate me or aggravate me, to the typical person that has no real conception of what marriage is, they would be willing to just call it quits just because the person pissed them off.
Right.
I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
I go downstairs, I play my game, I vent to my homie Latrell, I'll smoke my hookah.
Yep.
Do whatever I got to do, because whatever that problem is not worth me breaking my vow to God.
That's good.
First and foremost.
That's so good.
I said I do, and I meant it, and I stand 10 toes on it.
Period. And you know what? Something that I think about was the different attachment styles. And so there are 4 typically that people show. And I know that I was avoidant. And what the avoidant attachment style does is, when facing conflict, you avoid. And do you specifically remember how I used to avoid conflict?
I do. We would get to a point where a tough conversation was needed, and I would bring it up. He'd be like, "No, I'm just not really talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Later."
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with me, I've always kind of been, I won't say Mr. Fix It because I feel like that's a little toxic.
Yeah.
But I've always been the person that had the type of mindset, okay, well, what can we do to get to a better point
Yeah.
so that we can learn to move on
Yeah.
from where we are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus now, you're the one seeking it out. And I'm just sitting there like, oh,
How the tables have turned.
look at the joy in my face. Oh.
Yes.
But no, and I say that jokingly, but it's refreshing because that means you've done work on you
That's right.
before you could start to do work on us.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. A lot of people, egos get in the way.
Come on, ego. Hate them.
And okay, like, bro, and I'll say this until I'm dead. Men, we're stupid.
Mm.
We let our egos get in the way. We think we're right all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're right, have a civil conversation
Yeah.
as opposed to resorting to name calling.
Yeah.
When you speak from anger, you tend to say things that you'll end up regretting.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's out there, you can't take that back.
Yeah.
So I urge y'all to learn to step away for a minute,
Yeah.
calm down, because nothing ain't worth you stepping outside of your character. Calm down, come back and have a civil conversation.
I think also it's important for people to understand, do you want to be right or you want to be in a relationship? Do you want to be right or you want to be married? Like, which one is more important? Because being right all the time, it really doesn't get you the results that you think it will get you.
But you know, a lot of people don't realize the universe has God has his way of correcting situations.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are right, your spouse may think otherwise, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all not supposed to think alike.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere down the line, somehow, your spouse may come back to you and be like, you know what? You were right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we had this conversation a while ago.
Yeah.
And you were 100% right.
Yeah.
I've done it to you. You've done it to me.
For sure.
And here we are, 12 years together, but 7 years married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Not, you don't have to be right all the time in the moment, is what I'm getting to.
Mm-hmm. As millennials, how do you think our approach to marriage is different from our previous generations? So like our moms and our grandparents and our great-grandparents, how is our approach to marriage as millennials different from them?
I think overall, as a generation, we have kind of opened our eyes to the prospect of doing things our way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A lot of the older generations, they went solely by what they saw, and that's what they stuck to.
Yeah.
And it was just that.
Yeah.
Ain't no deviating, it became, but when you think about it, it had to have become very routine, and you would have to do so much to keep things interesting.
Yeah.
To keep the spark, to keep the romance there, the attraction, the love. And that's why I think you hear a lot of couples, like when they argue, it's from a place of like, I legit can't stand your
Right.
ASS. You know, but I said I do, so I'm here. Like, no, I don't want to get to a point where I'm just here just because I said I do. I actually want to put the work in so that 80 years down the line, you still my best friend and we can still laugh, joke, still have the romance, the spark is there. We're not straining ourselves to make it work.
Yeah. I think our generation as millennials, they are more about digging deep into their childhood and their traumas. They are also like going to therapy.
Yeah.
And I think that it's
Shout out to the black man that's actually
for
going to therapy,
sure, for
'cause
sure.
that was a plus.
We need therapy
Yeah.
and premarital counseling and check-in marital counseling, like all of those things. I see it in millennials and I hear it like they talk about normalizing more and more going to therapy for their issues, whether it's individual therapy or couples therapy.
Yeah, premarital counseling definitely kicked my butt.
And I think it should have too. Now that when I think about it, like going through it, of course, I was like, oh my gosh, this is uncomfortable and this is tough. But if you can't get through premarital counseling, then you have to rethink getting married. Yeah.
And I'll say this with any type of counseling. If you're not ready to damn near fight your counselor by the end of the session,
Square up with them.
it wasn't done right.
Yeah.
It's supposed to challenge you in ways that's going to make you check your ego.
A lot.
And it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
But after you do some deep digging and self-reflection, you'll be like, you know what? She was right. Or he was right.
And I think our generation also normalizes tough conversations. I'm not going to say all of them do, but I'm talking about the spaces that I've been in for the bulk. They are normalizing to have tough conversations. And I think premarital counseling can set the foundation. It can set the tone to have those tough conversations. Because do you remember back in premarital counseling what some of our topics were about?
I do.
Yeah.
One of the big ones was the dynamic between me and my mom and how that related to how I interact with you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I had to put myself in a position where I could prep myself to have a wife.
How do you do that, though?
I can't do that if I'm still clinging to my mother.
So how do you do that? I'm like, you're literally speaking to other men that are having these same issues, possibly with their mothers.
Yeah.
And I'll speak on that, but like daughters and dads. But yeah, how do you do that? How do you prep yourself?
Well, I'll preface it. Am I saying that right? Preface it. I'll preface it by saying this: growing up, I was very sheltered, coddled. I was the baby. With that type of upbringing came a lot of dependency on my mother.
Okay.
I had to learn to be more dependent, first and foremost, on God, but learn how to go get it myself.
Yeah.
And in doing so, it would only put us in a better position to succeed as a married couple. Instead of, oh, well, I know my mom is there. Okay, but she ain't going to always be there.
Be honest. Did that happen in year 1 and 2 of marriage?
A couple times.
Okay.
A couple times. I had to learn in a couple different areas, honestly. I remember a point in time where borrowing money was a thing. I had to learn how to stop accounting for other folks' financial situations.
Yeah.
Like their finances have no place in what you got going on.
That's
you
right.
decide to screw your money over, that's just that.
That's right.
Stop bringing them into your mess. You know, so. But ever since then, though, I think my relationship with my mother, I think it has evolved.
Yeah.
I won't say it's evolved for the worse by any means.
Yeah.
But I'm in a place where I'm still learning myself, you know.
That never changes, though. Like you being able to continue to learn yourself when these different situations and circumstances arise. Like I think that's why we face challenges, especially in marriages.
Yeah.
Because you're still learning yourself and you're still developing as a person.
Yeah. And this may sound morbid, I don't mean it to sound that way, but speaking to the fact that my mom won't always be here,
Mm-hmm.
if I can't get it together now,
That's right.
I never will.
Yeah. Yep.
And so that's where I am mentally. I'm just trying to get to a point where, if nothing else, me and mine are good.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons, like, we just had a talk recently about doing things for myself,
Mm-hmm.
paying myself, not just paying the bills. And, it's gotten to a point where I'm obsessed with making sure that you guys are straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before I do anything for myself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I understand that that's not 100% healthy. And
No, it's not.
I'm working to get out of that,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
working to not feel guilty doing things for myself.
For yourself. Yep. I remember us having that conversation because I think, especially Black men, right?
Yeah.
Self-care is a must. It's not a luxury. It's not a privilege, but it's a natural right. Like, everybody needs self-care. You cannot take care of other people before taking care of yourself. And currently right now, I'm reading Will Smith's biography book. I'm reading the book, and it was really good because he talked about how him and Jada, they went to counseling, and their therapist just asked a simple question: list your priorities. Jada put the children as number one. Will put himself as number one. And then, he talked about how Jada thought that was so selfish of him because us as women, we quick, easy, willing to sacrifice ourselves for the betterment of our children. But
how can you be any good?
How can you be any good to anybody if you're not good to yourself? Yeah. And so I always love the analogy or the comparison to when you're getting on the plane and they give the tutorial about, in case of emergencies,
that's a good one,
put your mask on first and then put, someone else's mask on. And so I think about that as self-care. Like, you are no good to yourself. How do you live? How do you breathe? How do you exist without taking care of yourself first before giving to others?
That's real.
Yeah.
And it's for somebody that has been so unselfish for so long, that's a hard lesson to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I still have buyer's guilt.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, truly. The only time I did not experience that was when the PS5 came out. Like, truly.
For real.
But that was a $600 purchase. Normally, anybody that spends over $100 has some type of, ooh, that was a lot of money. I shouldn't, you know what I mean? But
crazy.
now it's to a point where I'm actually trying to get creative.
Yeah.
With my finances so that, okay, this is taken care of, but I'm also setting this aside for
100%.
what I truly want.
Yeah.
Like, I blame my sister, Nakia, Miss Johnson, Monroe Johnson. Y'all have turned me into a sneaker whore. So now I'm starting to allocate money for sneakers.
Okay, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the way that you should. If this is the way that you like, everybody has their thing. Like, everybody has their vices. Everybody has their collections. I'm like, we don't judge because everybody has their thing. And if that is what makes you happy, it is not impacting you in a negative way, man, have at it. My next question is, what conversation do you wish that you could have talked about more pre-marital, like before we were married, because you believe like maybe it would have made things easier?
Time management.
What do you mean by that?
I've gotten myself into a place where work consumes a lot of my time. The last time I felt this overwhelmed, I want to say, was when I was in school.
Yeah.
By the time I reached the finish line, granted, I wasn't crawling or anything, but mentally it felt like it.
Yeah.
I still managed to get out of there with a 3.47.
Yeah. Kudos to you. Kudos to you.
Not bad.
Yes.
But But yeah, I wasn't crawling, getting out of there, but mentally I was wore out.
Yeah.
And I think I'm getting to a place with work now where I'm starting to feel like that. You know, and maybe that's a question for one of my mentors. You know, how do you manage to get to a better place mentally with that?
With time management.
Yeah.
I was thinking while you were talking about it, and man, I mean, it can be so much, but I think, I know exactly what I could have talked about, because you had touched on the relationship with your mom and how it impacts marriage. I think about my relationship with my dad and how it impacts marriage. So just a little context. By the time that this episode is out, my aunt's episode about her journey into motherhood. I was raised by a single Black woman who was my aunt, who was my mother's sister. And she took all four of us in. And so I was raised by a single Black, strong woman. And my dad was in my life. I had a relationship with my father, but it's different when you're not growing up in the household with your father, when you don't see a healthy dynamic of what a marriage looks like in the traditional roles. Notice I did this. The traditional roles that a man and a woman has in a marriage, in a household, raising children.
Yeah. That's
Excuse
real.
me. And so when I look back at that and think about how I started in terms of when we were dating in our first couple of years of marriage, it was very challenging. And I didn't even think, girls, because that's how you was raised and that's what you saw and that's what you know.
And to speak to that, you were very femme dominant. And I think that's because that's all you saw.
That's all I saw. That's all I knew.
Auntie is a lioness
Yes.
with a mane.
Yes.
Like she did that.
Yeah, she did.
Like, she's her.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because that's all you saw, you didn't know how to be
Yep.
submissive.
Yep. And just like chill.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't come until years after.
Yeah, and you've gotten considerably better.
Yeah,
with
thank
that.
you. Thank
Like,
you.
truly, it's gotten to a point where I don't feel like when I do say something that I feel could help, it's not just bouncing off you, going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Like, you actually take it in and consider it.
Yes.
Like, you know what? You were right.
Mm-hmm.
You were absolutely right.
Yep. Yeah. And crazy enough, like, it feels good. It's like a breath of fresh air and it's like a release. And it's like, well, why haven't I been doing this? But it was literally like, because girl, you didn't know, you know?
Because it's not necessarily a dopamine type of thing. It's more so like with a marriage, it's almost natural to submit to each other. And when you don't do so, that's when it starts to seem strange.
Yeah.
Or y'all are
Yeah.
bumping heads, you know, so
Yeah. But I also think that society throws it around a lot for marriages,
100%.
right? But if it's not seen, how is it taught?
How will you know?
And if it's not taught, how will I know? Because I'm married, I'm just supposed to be submissive. Well, what does that look like? Right? And so I think that was my struggle in our marriage.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What was the turning point? Like, what got you to a point where your eyes were turned in a different direction in terms of submission?
I had to go to therapy for this. And I remember very vividly my therapist telling me, like, he doesn't have to have it because you've always had it. And I was like, so I had to sit with that. I had to process that a little bit. And I was like, oh, there are some things that I have to let go, like physically, mentally, emotionally. You can't carry all of this or you gonna be looking crazy out here.
And it's crazy that you say that because I wasn't anywhere near being present for your therapy session, but look at how that advice has helped me. As a man, we live in a very, as a black man, we live in a very harsh world.
Yeah.
It's sink or swim.
Right.
If I don't know how to swim and my wife is pulling everybody, that's going to burn her out. And she eventually is just going to.
Yep.
And so by you doing that, it's allowed me to be different in terms of how I go about things and the things that I put in place.
Yeah.
And it's taught me how to swim.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? Like, especially the women that desire to be wives and those that are already wives. Like, that was such a revelation for me that it prompted me that I had to change some things. And I think the biggest thing that was so simple, okay, it was so simple, but it helped me tremendously, was just being quiet and just wait. Because he's not doing it on your time, or you expect him to think how you think, it doesn't necessarily mean that it won't get done. That was the revelation for me. Like, let me just be quiet and wait. Yes, he's gonna do it. Yes, he got it. It's not gonna happen right now. Is it really urgent? Is it the end of the world if it don't happen right this second? Right? Yep. Like, that was such a huge thing for me. And so, like, for my other friends that are moms and like wives, I just be like, you just got to be quiet and be patient. Just wait and see. He got it. Yeah. He's competent. He can do it. But because we just want to be in 50,000 different ways and areas, we can't do it all. Put it down. But it's okay.
And something else that we have talked about in the past, we have different orders for our priorities.
That's right.
What may be high priority for you is lower down on the totem pole for me. And that's not necessarily saying that it's not important.
Yeah. You just not thinking about it.
I have other things that I'm also trying to do as well. So how can I maximize my time?
That's right.
Okay, well, this is also super important for me.
Right.
Okay, so I got you, babe. Just let me finish this.
Or I'll tell you something that you do that's really helpful too. You'll ask me, all right, when do you need to have this done? Does it need to be done right now, or can it wait a bit? And I'd be like, oh no, babe, it's not urgent. You be like, cool. So even you asking the clarifying question shows that you're even interested in, okay, how high is this of a priority to get done? Okay, I don't have to be done right now. Okay, cool. I could chill a little bit.
But see, and that also comes with clear and concise communication.
Yeah.
Like, don't have these unspoken expectations.
That's right.
And expect your spouse to just know. I had somebody tell me that recently. We was talking about relationship issues. I feel like they should just know.
And it don't work like that, baby.
No.
That is so true.
You have to approach each person as if you have to approach each situation with your spouse as if that person has never been in that situation with you before. I need you to know unequivocally that this is what my expectations are.
That's right. And what we learned in premarital counseling, which was very helpful, was that unspoken expectations are unfair expectations. Yeah. And that was the first time I heard that. And it was like a gut puncher. I was like, oh, wait a minute now. Yeah. And also I wanted to talk about, like, you thinking that the other person is they just supposed to know, and it doesn't work like that. How about you guys try to get to know each other a little bit more? Yeah. Because if they don't know, they may not know you in that area or in that light.
I'll go here, and y'all know I had to because I'm a sports fan. She might not get it because she's not a sports
Don't do
person.
Me like that. Don't do me like that.
You think about Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Two of the greatest players of all time, right? Part of one
arguably.
Arguably, I'll give you
I'm
that.
just saying because
Because it's been argued. But
take it back.
on one of the greatest teams of all time,
Yeah.
imagine the chemistry they had.
Yeah.
A lot of the
That's
things
good.
that they did on the court, a lot of times they didn't have a talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also times where they had to call a timeout and come up with a game plan.
Yep.
It's called communicating.
It's called communication and practice.
Yeah.
They had to practice those plays. It didn't just happen and they didn't just know.
Yeah.
So that's a great comparison though, babe, because it just shows like it's not just showing up in marriages, just in a relationship with anybody else, period.
Any type of relationship. That could be employer, employee, that could be sibling to sibling, that could be best friend to best friend. Any type of relationship, you have to have that level of communication.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's always going to be a moment where y'all go from here to one person here. And how do y'all get back here?
Yep.
Y'all got to talk.
Y'all got to talk.
have to communicate. Lay your expectations out there. That's why I hold the conversation we had with Lady Line and Pastor Si. We weren't communicating on a level where we should have been, and they got us right together.
They sure did. Love that.
We left out of that like, damn.
Oh, we got to go back to the drawing board.
Scratching
Because
the
what
head.
we thought we knew, we didn't know.
We didn't.
Okay. And then we ended up right back here because we had to talk and
We
communicate.
had to talk it out.
My next question is, how have you navigated individual growth while maintaining your bond or our bond as a couple?
It starts in my approach and how I'm not going to say deal with because that's the wrong terminology, but how I interact with you. One thing I can remember that I struggled with was indecisiveness.
In what way? Give me an example.
Like somebody would ask me a question that had multiple different options to it, and I'd be like, it doesn't matter. I'm
Yes,
okay with it.
yes. Yes.
No. How about you put some thought into what you truly want because you get one, now you missing out on the other. Like, and it's just like, okay, you know what? I really don't like that.
Yeah.
I do really want this. And once I got better with doing it for myself, it reflected positively within the marriage.
Yeah.
To a point where you would ask me a question about Micah,
Right.
and it wouldn't be, that's cool. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
To now, I don't like that. That actually works better than this. Let's go with this first. And that's honestly a part of stepping into head of the house.
Yeah.
How can I expect to be head of the house and my wife is making the decision?
All the time.
All the time. She used to come home from work and be like, I'm tired of thinking.
Good boy.
I'm tired of making decisions.
For
And
real.
it would be over something so simple as what we were eating for the night. And after a while, it just got to a point where I was just like, okay, how about you stop asking and you just pick something?
Just pick some. I'm going to eat.
She's going to eat regardless. It's not like I'm a horrible cook.
No, not at all.
She's going to eat. And so
Yeah.
it was just like, okay, well, just make a decision. And from there, it just grew.
For sure.
But
For sure.
in terms of Micah, it was also a sense of, okay, well, yeah, she's mom, but you're a parent as well. Like, you are dad.
Yeah.
As like, just like she's mom, you're dad. You have just as much say-so as she does.
Yeah. In what ways has your understanding of Black love been shaped by social media?
Truthfully, I want to say it's by following people who I've seen examples of a healthy relationship.
Like who?
Um, like DeVal and Kadeem.
Yeah. I was gonna say them too. Mm-hmm.
There's another one. I can't think of their YouTube. I mean, no, not YouTube, Instagram handle, but
Mm-hmm.
they make a lot of little
Videos.
Instagram
Okay.
videos, and they real cute with each other. But
Mm-hmm.
you can
You don't
tell
know their
that
names?
I don't. But
Okay.
when I see them,
Yeah.
it's like I know
What
'em.
about celebrities, not just, influencers? Yeah,
Celebrities.
that represents Black love or
Um,
that society paints them to.
Barack and Michelle.
For sure. For sure.
Barack and Michelle.
I was gonna say LeBron James and Savannah
LeBron and
James.
Savannah.
You got Gabrielle Union, Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Kadeen and DeVal.
Mm.
So yeah, and how do you think that it influences Black love, or it shapes the perception of Black love
It
off of
gives
social media?
it gives a different image to what people are normal to see. Like
Mm-hmm.
you go on Instagram and you're not following any of these people, you may see anything along the lines of clips from a music video glorifying treating women a certain way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or vice versa.
Yeah.
You may go on there and you might see something where somebody is completely against the relationship
Mm-hmm.
altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, come on.
Yeah. Relax.
Like, what happened to, and I get it, free speech, speak your mind.
Yeah.
But what happened to impulse? If you don't have nothing nice to say about any given thing, don't say anything.
For sure.
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
Because what you're feeling, you're projecting that onto somebody
Yeah.
and influencing that person. Now you done poison this person's mind
Or
because
what they
of your
had.
beliefs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let that person,
And it's not fair. It's
let
not
that person
fair.
go about life on their own. Let them think for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and just leave it alone. Don't say nothing if you ain't got nothing nice to say.
For sure. I agree with that. Is the 7-year itch, so basically what I had read in the beginning about the 7-year itch phenomenon, is it real in our experience? If so, how have we addressed it?
I don't think so. I think we still prioritize being each other's friend first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
In doing so, it's allowed us to not have bent up or pent up, built up. What's the word I'm looking for?
Aggression?
Not hate.
Not aggression?
No,
Mm-hmm.
not hate. What's the other word?
Oh, you could say disdain or like a
Yeah,
dislike for each other.
I truly still like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love you to pieces, but there are marriages where people love each other but don't like each other.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah.
And I think that as long as I keep putting the effort in it to make sure that that remains true, I think we'll be all right.
I can say the same. I think being in year 7, no. Like it's the 7-year itch is not real. But in our earlier years of marriage, especially when we were becoming new parents and husband and wife, and so we were doing the dual roles, in one
Yeah.
in one milestone, like getting married, then the next year we having a baby. Yeah, like I feel like the description of the 7-year itch definitely showed in some moments and in some areas, but approaching year 7 now, no, we're putting in the effort. We're making a conscious choice that we want to commit to each other and put in the work every day, because I always like to say we don't argue.
And it's strange because a lot of people will be shocked to
Yeah,
hear that.
yeah.
Y'all been together how long?
Yeah.
You ain't called her not one name?
No.
She ain't called you not one name?
No. No,
Y'all
we don't do
curse at
that.
each other?
We don't do
No,
that.
For what?
Yeah.
Again, if I'm speaking from anger, I'm going to say something that I'm going to regret.
Yep.
And once I say it, it's out there.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go calm down, do what you got to do, and then come talk about it like an adult.
Yeah. I also think though, how we got there is understanding that we're friends first. And I think people lose the friendship aspect when they become husband and wife. And I be like, no, this is my friend. And if he is my friend, it doesn't matter what I say to him. He's not going to take offense to it because he knows that I love him. And I'm speaking from a place of love. We don't speak from places of hurt and pain because hurt people hurt people.
Hurt people.
And we don't want to do that to each other. So I always like to say that we don't argue. Yes, people are surprised by that, but I'm like, literally, you can be a fly on the wall and you will see like it doesn't happen, but we have disagreements.
We have disagreements. We resolve them by having our tough conversations. We know the other person does not have any malice towards the other.
Yeah.
If there's something that needs to be said,
we can say it. Yep.
This is a safe space. This is a safe space. Say it. Say what you need to say.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think or how you think I may react to it or how you think I may feel.
It's a safe space.
This is what you're feeling. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you your feelings aren't valid.
Right.
Say what you need to say.
Yeah. And so fighting fair has been very important in having disagreements, which is why we don't argue. And so that was good. That was good that we talked about that. What ritual or practice has been most important for us to sustain our marriage?
Quality time. Hands down.
Okay.
And I don't just say that because that's one of my top love languages.
It is, yeah. I think it's like number 2 or 3 for me.
But this is something that I honestly learned from my little sister.
Okay.
When you give the other person too much time alone, that becomes all that they know. I don't want to get to a point where quality time is so rare for us to where you revert back to that hyper independence.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not necessarily to say that I'm doing it to hold you back.
Right.
But I'm also doing it to keep the spark there. Like keep the love there. Like when you went away for your trip, it felt weird.
Recently?
Yes. Anytime you go away, like it felt weird. Like I'm not lying. It felt like something was off, something was missing. I felt unbalanced. Yeah, it was just me and Micah. Cool, got time or whatever.
Yeah, he said, me and my dad are chilling. That's what he said.
It felt off. And I've told you before, anytime you do go away, typically I don't really sleep all that well.
You did say that. That's funny. Adriana talked to me about that too. She said when her husband is out of the house, especially if it's overnight, she was like, I don't know if this is a case for you. She was like, but I don't sleep too well.
Something feels off.
Yeah.
Even if you go to sleep before I do, even if I fall asleep on the couch, wake up 4 a.m. looking crazy.
Yeah.
At least I know you're in the house.
For sure.
You're home.
For sure.
And that brings comfort to me because it reassures me that you're safe.
Yeah.
When you're not home, that level of, that layer is just not there. And so now I'm waking up every hour and a half, and I have to remind myself, she's good. Try to rest.
Yeah.
Micah is not up yet. Try to rest. But this is a repetitive thing. Every time you go away, it's just like I don't really sleep all that well.
Oh, poo.
And I'm not saying that to be mushy. I'm really not. But no, truly, that's how I feel. Once you allow somebody to take a piece of you so deeply.
You're so deep.
I can't ever just say nothing. Everything I say to her is just so profound.
Don't do that.
I'm a poet sometimes when I speak.
Please.
But no, when you've allowed somebody to take a piece of you so deeply, it's just like, okay, if this person is not close, something is off. Like truly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. What has been the most challenging year of our marriage so far, and what got us through it?
Challenging year.
Or a challenging time?
I would say 22 to 24
Okay, why?
financially.
Yeah. Yikes.
Financially. And you notice I said that without any hesitation.
right.
Like
That
there
was
were
hard.
times where
That was hard.
we were at each other's throats so bad.
Yeah.
Like it was points where she would have to just get up, walk away, go to Starbucks or something, or I would just isolate with my game, or I'd go somewhere. But that time was so hard for us, and honestly, I think it was because we hadn't learned to be truly transparent with each other
Yes.
in terms of our finances.
Yes. Because that's the key.
Yeah.
Truly being transparent with the finances. You're going to face some financial struggles. Everybody we don't make the same amount. We're in two totally different industries in terms of work. And I think that it truly taught sacrifice, discipline, and the importance of being educated in your finances, because it's tough. Yes, you make money and spend money, but it's important how much you're bringing in and how much is being spent. Like, I knew the trajectory of how we viewed our finances were changing when talking about finances wasn't tense anymore. It was like, all right, let's talk numbers.
Yeah, it would get to a point she'd be like, okay, we need to talk numbers, and I would instantly get irritated. Like, here we effing go. Like, bro.
Yep.
Like, right now?
Yeah. But we did it.
Well, we had to.
Yep. And still do.
Regardless of whatever situation you may be in. If your financial situation is tough, the only way you're going to get out of it is by talking about it and coming up with a game plan.
Yep, coming up with a game plan and being transparent about those numbers. So important. Like, you cannot be delusional, living in la-la land, thinking, oh, I'm not spending that much. I'm not doing...
I want to put a quote
sure.
out there that actually has stuck with me, and I just recently saw it. I saw it on a poster. I believe the dude that said it was James Baldwin.
Okay, yeah.
Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced.
Yep.
And I feel that way about finances.
Yeah. Literally, it can go with anything. Yeah. But truly, yes, the finances for sure. If you could go back and give yourself advice on our wedding day, what would you say?
A couple of different things.
Yeah.
I wasn't super selfish.
Okay.
I had my moments.
Yeah.
But I wasn't super selfish.
Yeah.
I would tell myself to be a little bit more selfish.
I would agree with that for you.
Something else that I would tell myself: stop being lazy. It's not going to get done unless you put the effort into it. And there's truly the only waste of time is when you choose not to be productive. And I say that in a sense of, I remember a conversation we had. See, we talk about everything. I remember a conversation that I had where I wanted to prioritize my me time, my self-care time, versus redoing my resume. I think that's what it was. Don't quote me. But I think I said something like, I'm going to get to it. I don't feel like doing it right now. And you said something, I can't remember exactly what you said, but it woke me up to the notion of, okay, well, you sitting here playing the game. The end of the day, your resume still won't be done because you're sitting here playing the game. So if you take the time to be productive, you getting what you need to have done, and then you can go right back to
That's
doing
right.
whatever it is you want to do.
That's right.
The
Yeah.
only way anything is ever going to get done is if you get up off your butt
Yeah.
and just do it.
Yeah.
It has to be done either way.
Okay. I was going to say for me, if I could go back and give myself advice on my wedding day, is that you don't have all the answers, Sway. You don't have all the answers. You're not going to have it all together. The marriage will have some issues and some challenges. It will be hard. You can get through it. And just relax. Like I from sitting where I'm sitting now to thinking about how we started, I felt a little bit more tense. Now, and I was way more serious. Like
you were forcing it.
We gotta have it. It gotta get done. And it gotta be done this way at this time. You know, like that was me. I was a stickler for things. But now it's just like, let the chips fall where they may. And it's okay.
And we'll go from there.
And we'll face it together. And I have a partner. You don't have to do it alone, or you don't have to do it for him. Like why you think you gotta do that for him?
Yep.
You know, just allow it to be relaxed, and it's gonna be okay. I think that would be the advice for me.
Have your partners back,
Yeah,
but let them handle it.
let them handle it. They got
Let them
it.
be.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we developed our latest saying, over a cliff.
Over a cliff,
I
for
got
sure.
your back.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if it's over a cliff.
yeah,
And if that means we shoot ourselves in the foot,
yeah.
we'll
handle
patch
it.
up, we'll
Yeah.
handle it.
We'll handle it when we get
and
there.
We'll keep pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I agree with that.
What are you most looking forward to in the next 7 years of our marriage?
I would say learning new ways of keeping you at that best friend,
Level.
level.
Okay.
Yes, you my bestie now, but in 7 years, I want that to still be the case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to increased finances.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to bigger home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to enjoying life, not just individually, but as married.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy taking trips.
Yeah.
I've always said I'd much rather travel with you. I get it. It's not always going to be a case.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
right.
you're the best travel partner.
Yeah. I say that about you too.
So,
Yeah.
That's what I look forward
In
to.
the next 7 years, I'm looking forward to, in terms of our marriage, both of us thriving in our purpose, traveling more together, learning more things about each other and just about the world. Like where I am right now, I'm like, it's so much more to see. It's so much more to know. And I want to experience that with my partner.
Much as possible.
Yeah. And continue growth in our relationship with God. Like not being complacent with, I know enough. Yeah, okay, I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Cool. Yeah. I go to church.
There's always more to learn.
It's always more to learn. And in the different seasons that our marriage will face, like we just can't be complacent in that manner. So I just want to say thank you for coming along again and having this. Like this, the first one to me was like more light and this is our story. We're parents. But this one, I'm like, I think it's important, especially first year, like in those beginning early stages of marriage, because I talk to a lot of my girlfriends all of the time that are in the younger years of their marriage. It's so much more that they could learn and to gain.
In a sense, kind of like allow my trials and tribulations to be a lesson for you.
Yes. And I'm not saying everything that we're gonna go through or have gone through, you will too. Not saying that that is the case at all, but we will run into some similarities. I promise you that.
Yep.
I promise you.
And you could pair the same resolution with whatever your similar situation is. Like at some point, we're gonna parallel.
That's right.
And what I go through and how we handle it could be a lesson.
For sure. For sure.
So you could take that and tweak it and work with what's best for y'all.
Do what you will. Yeah, do what you will.
So.
But yeah, thank you. I just want to say thank you again, my honey, for coming on along the podcast and just sharing your truth. Like I love when we, have these real talks, but also because sometimes like if people know you, they say like you're super chill, super laid back. Oh, you really don't be talking that much. But I'm like, when you do talk, you have so much depth, and you have a lot to share. And men, especially men, need to hear other men talk about marriage. The community of men can be way more stronger. Us women, we love a good key. We love a good girlfriend time. But we always talk about the difference between the female community and the male community and having camaraderie together. Yeah.
And take it a step further, I 100% agree first and foremost. But if I go out my way to include you in my circle, you bro, and that's just that. Ain't no fake, phony, talking behind the back, It's nothing but love, and I hope that my guys know that.
Yeah.
I could go on a whole naming spree.
Yeah, for sure. But don't do it.
I'm not.
Because you're going to miss some people.
I'm going to miss some people, and somebody going to be upset. Oh, you. But my guys, if I ever called you bro, just know that I'm not saying it just as a term of endearment. Like, I truly feel that way.
Yeah.
And I got y'all, as long as y'all got me and y'all continue to work on yourselves as well.
Yep. So I would like to say, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is a wrap on this episode. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me know what was your favorite part or something that was said and hopefully done to inspire you and pique your curiosity to make a difference and to create change within yourself. Keep growing, keep learning, keep loving, keep journaling, and just overall manifesting all the great things to come into your life. I love you, and I will see you soon. Until next time.